Hello everybody, welcome to Short Shot Archery. Anthony here, and in this video I'm going to talk about my experience with the Bohning Griffin veins at the ATA show 2020. Alright, so first off, what is the purpose of this video? I just really want to share with you my opinion on these veins, things I see, things I hope they do, talk about the price of them, and then get into how I want to test them in the future. So first off, I did stop by their booth. You probably saw my video on that. They gave me 2 sample packs of their veins. So when you actually buy these, they actually come in a case. If you saw the clips, it's a pretty fancy case. And now I understand why it's such a fancy case. So you get 40 veins, but the veins are going to cost you $49.99 per pack. So after taxes, you're looking at over $50 a pack. That is a $1.25, if not more. Hold on, math time. Yes, that is $1.25 a vein, not counting taxes. So you might be closer to the $1.50 a vein, especially if you have to go and buy glue and or tape to adhere these Griffin veins to your arrow. Now I'm not saying that that totally makes these veins pointless, but it is something to consider, especially when most of the other veins on the market are, well, not even half the price. Between about 30 and 42 cents or so. Most of the veins on the market are below 50 cents. We'll make it easy. These are $1.25. And that doesn't include tape or glue from my understanding. I didn't see it in the packaging. Maybe I missed it. So from there, that really raised my expectations. Besides the fact that these veins are very small, extremely small. They're 1-inch veins, or 0.25 or 25.4 millimeters. It's a tiny, tiny little vein. They did tell me that they're in the works of creating 2-inch veins, which I think is going to be more helpful because, I don't know, like, these just might be too small. But with that, though, because of their profile and just how there's basically nothing there, I'm going to be very interested on their performance. They should be very fast. They should be incredibly fast because you should be basically shooting bare shafts with these veins. Maybe I'm wrong, but they gotta be quick. If they're slower than most of the other veins on the market, and they still cost this much, the only other thing that I think would kind of make up for it would be extreme durability. And I have this little vein here, and you can squish it, you can ball it up, and it distorts a little, but it basically flexes. If you let it just sit there, it'll flex back to its original shape over time. And I think that's because it's made out of some sort of flexible plastic. You can actually see 2 little I don't know, little pieces sticking out here. Those should be where the injection molding spots are, because I'm assuming that these are injection molded. That would be my guess. So yeah, this is just a very flexible, soft flexible plastic that does maintain its form pretty well. We'll see if they really get distorted from shooting, or if they get distorted from heat. Even though that's kind of harder to test this time of year because it's January in New Jersey. Excuse me. We're lucky we don't have snow on the ground, so it might be hard to test like 90-degree weather. But I can see what I can do about that. Other than that, yeah, I want to see what their performance is. I think they're going to have some really impressive speed characteristics and just reliability characteristics in order to justify this price of $1.25 a vein. Because otherwise, I think it's just an overpriced item, in my opinion. Because, well, you could spend significantly less for another brand's product and have as high, if not higher, of a performance. Then what would be the point of actually buying these? They, of course, indicated that they had some independent company that they didn't name test these and say how they basically passed everybody on all the parameters besides one, which they didn't tell me which one it was. I'm assuming it's price, because there's no way. This is the most expensive vein on the market. And now, please note, some people will probably think, oh, you're really hating on Bohning. I'm honestly, I'm just trying to be realistic. I've spent hundreds, if not close to thousands of dollars over the years on veins, and I have never paid this much, or have to pay this much for a set of veins. $50 for 40 veins is a lot of money. And yeah, with that, let's get into to testing. So I'm going to do my usual speed test. I'm going to fletch up as many arrows as I can. For these, we got 3, 6. It looks like 9 veins per pack, so that should be like 6 arrows, depending. Watch it not be 9 veins and get like 1 arrow with only 2 veins on it, which would be still an interesting test to see how the arrow flies with only 2 veins compared to 3. We'll see how they group. We'll see how the durability is, because, I'm going to shoot them at like 18 and 30 meters, so I should shoot some real solid groups there and just beat them to death. Which is good, because then we're going to find out how durable they actually are. Do they actually tear or deform really easily when they get hit by other arrows? And if they do they still fly correctly afterwards? Other than that, let's see maybe how some glue or some tape actually makes them, how well do they actually stick to the arrow shaft? Does the glue or tape stick well to the shaft, and then maybe the glue doesn't stick too well to this? We'll find out. Other than that, it is kind of cool that they give you this little jig that you can put your vein into, and then when it wants to stay there, and you can actually use this jig to fletch the vein with your normal fletching jig. You can use a Bitzenberger. Obviously, you can use a Bohning fletching jig. I have a Bitzenberger. I do have a Bohning one, but it was more designed for spin wings, so we'll be using the Bitzenberger. And that should be interesting too, because I've never fletched outdoor veins directly with a fletching jig. Generally, I just use the fletching jig to draw lines on my arrow shafts and then lay out the tape. Or for another brand, I could just roll the tape onto the arrow shaft. So this is definitely a new one where you actually have a tool to put the vein onto the arrow. Interesting. Other than that, they did provide some informational cards, telling you like the specs, because they're 0.21 inches high or 5.3 millimeters tall. I told you the length before of about 1 inch. They're saying they're extremely durable, and that this twisted ribbon design, because the vein does kind of twist, you don't need to put a helical. You don't need to put a helical on the vein. You can fletch them straight, and then at the same point in time, supposedly this is scientifically developed. The contours in it that allow it to do what, I guess it's going to help it guide. That all they say is it's scientifically developed. So we'll see what scientific developments it actually improves. See if they're actually very fast or not. And then other than that, it's just showing you how to use the clamp for the Griffin with your clamp from other jigs. And that pretty much wraps this up. So hopefully you found this interesting. I think the veins could be very promising, but they really need to do a couple things. They need to come in strong on performance and durability, because otherwise, I really, in my opinion, at this point in time, I don't see the justification for the price. If they don't come in strong on durability and just performance of the vein, I don't think there's a good justification to buy a $50 pack of veins, unless you're just a really big fan of Bohning, and you can do what you want. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and as always, happy shooting.